Oh yeah, so today I'm gonna do a back-to-back comparison of quite good analog versus HDZero 720, the default 720 mode. I'm gonna use my HDZero Goggles 2. These have got Menace RC antennas on, 2 stubby omnis, 2 pico patches. So for the analog, I'm going to use this GEP RC Cinelog 25 version 2. It has the Cadex Ratel 2 camera, GEP RC's own Rad 1 watt VTX, and their own Pino antenna. And as you can see, it's pretty good. I say quite good analog. This is quite good analog. This isn't the best analog that I've seen. Unfortunately, my best analog quad is an HG LRC Cinewhoop, and that has a burned out ESC, so I haven't got that. Well, we're using the Cinelog. The ground detail is very good. The leaves on the trees, very good. It's nice and sunny. The dynamic range that the Ratel is capable of is very good. This color reproduction isn't so bad. I can't remember if this camera is set to PAL or NTSC. Usually I set them all to PAL, but I don't fly this quad very often, so there's a good chance it might be on NTSC. Looking at some of the green, some of the yellow, maybe it's NTSC, I'm not sure. But either way, the color reproduction is still good. It's very windy out. Should mention that, but you didn't come here to see my flying, you came here to look at the differences in the video system, so I'm not going to make any excuses for my crappy flying. Nice detail on that spruce there. There really are some lovely trees in this park. I'm very fond of a couple. This maple particularly. They're just the right height as well, so you can throw the quad around and practice all your moves. You'll not be too worried about losing it if you do get hung up. These trees look quite shakeable. I'm just going slow here because I hear a dog. I need to go and have a look, see what's going on. There's a dog near me. This tree's very nice. Lovely maple. Yep, quite windy. Almost got blown into that birch. But ground detail, I'm very happy with. The ground detail is one of the things that if it's not nice, it kind of messes up my flying because I do like to fly quite close to the ground. And this particular quad, this analog setup is very good. So down here we've got like differently sized, different heights of grass and so on. It's a little bit unfair because I think with the diversity setup, like on my rapid fires, you wouldn't have such a signal degradation. I mean, it's not so bad. But then if I was using my diversity module on my HDOs, then the DVR would be terrible. That's one thing here is how quickly this scraggle seems to pop up. Sometimes it's a lack of contrast in analog, regardless of how good the analog signal is, that just kind of messes up the depth perception a bit, and things seem to just pop up out of nowhere. But I mean, generally you can just get around now. I have crashed under that tree a couple of times for exactly that reason. But for me, this signal is pretty good. I have to say also, like what you're seeing in this DVR is very, very close to the goggle view. I think, as I said, like if I'd done this test using my HDOs with my rapid fire module, um, the DVR would be much worse looking, much worse than it actually appears in the goggles, and it's not really a fair sort of test. This is quad is going to run out of battery right now. There we go. You don't get any leeway. Okay, so for the HDZero, I'm using this. This is my self-built Freestyle quad, 3.5 inch. This was an analog quad until I put the HDZero VTX in it. So it's using the Freestyle VTX version 2. That's the Runcam Nano 90 and the antenna that came in the bundle. And it's all completely default. It's untuned. I haven't messed with any color settings in the camera or anything at all. This is pretty much out of the box. It's a very different quad to fly, this one. The throttle response between the two is different. And these were flown back to back. Like literally I took a battery off, but strapped a battery onto the Freestyle quad and away we went. See, the detail is just better. I don't know if there's like a numerical value I can put on it, but just to say it is objectively, there's more resolution, there's more detail to see. This is 720 mode, this isn't the 540 mode, remember, this is 720 mode, the default. So it's 60 frames per second, 720. The camera is capable of doing 540 at 90 frames per second. I think 540 resolution may be closer in detail loss to analog, but the 720 definitely has more detail. Going down here particularly, it's visible. There's not quite so much breakup. Again, it's using all 4 antennas instead of just the one like it was when it was doing the analog. The HDZero uses all the antennas. I couldn't resist going up and over. Just remembered we want to go under it for the comparison. I don't take precisely the same line, but to me, it was easier to see the scraggle. I mean, you could say, yeah, you knew it was there this time, but it was easier to make out. It didn't come as such a surprise. It's slightly more contrasty. Having the bit sharper image makes it a bit more contrasty. At this point, I'm kind of slowing down because I've noticed that there's some people coming into the middle of where I'm flying. This is always the way. You want to film something specific, and that's when the other park users become interested in what you're doing. So I'm having to stick to the edges a bit. Again, you didn't come here to see my flying. You came here to compare video systems. The ground detail is what I'm really impressed with. Hopefully there'll be a bit where I go quite low, you can see for yourself, but it doesn't break up. It maintains its detail no matter how fast which is different to the digital systems that use compression, like the walk snail. I've seen the walk snail system and seen the walk snail close to the ground. It just turns into this kind of mushy, undefined kind of green, rippling sort of mess. Whereas the HDZero, no compression, just maintains the detail the whole time. There's a bigger battery on this quad. I think the Cinewhip was using a 650. This one's using an 850. So the flight will be a bit longer. Both quads have the same size motors, if that's of interest. It's 1404, 4600 kV. They're Zing 2s on this quad. On the Cinewhoop, they are the Gepard C zone. Obviously, the Cinewhip is using 2.5 inch or 2-inch, 2.5 inch 4-bladed props, and I'm using 3525 3 blades on this quad. My rates are totally different as well. Sorry, my rates are totally different on the Freestyle quad to they are on the Cinewhoop. Their ground detail is just fantastic. I'm really impressed. In terms of like feeling latency differences, there really is none. Just fly analog and then straight away fly HDZero, and there's no adjustment needed. It's at least as fast, probably faster. I mean, the book says it's faster, the specs say it's faster. It certainly requires no adjustment. There's no change in attitude. So this battery should be getting close to done now, I think. These are GMB batteries I'm using. The HV ones, they're the kind of yellowy ones with the flowers on. Like I said, a 650 I was flying in the Cinewhoop, and I'm using the 850 here. You get really good flight times out of them. I'm very impressed with those batteries. Yeah, so that's the end of the flight. So hopefully that's enough to kind of compare on. Hopefully that's useful. I don't know what kind of mess YouTube compression is going to make of all the video, but hopefully it'll be enough to do a comparison. So I hope that was useful, and if you have any questions, stick them in the comments.